Doing. Hello to Crate Now. We're here with the infamous Dr. Boogie, the Vegan Steven podcast. It is every day. Today's date is the 2nd of the 3rd, 2020. The time is 10:43. Dr. Boogie, pentatonic scales, major scales. We've talked about them a little bit. Chord scales, primarily in the key of C and A. So major scales, pentatonic scales. Just gone over the feckin' basics. Just another time.
Well, I like the major pentatonics.
I just love to hear you have to say about pentatonic, really. Any thoughts about pentatonic and primarily in C, A, and then a bit of major scale?
Well, I thought, listen, if you want to hear a pentatonic scale, listen to the song My Girl by The Temptations.
Mm-hmm.
And you know they got that bass line. And then what happens here is
Put that anyway.
and then the next bit that comes in, and this is the pentatonic. So those first 5 notes here are pentatonic. So all together. Oh, fuck that. Okay, so that's the idea behind the pentatonic scale, is that descending line. So just in terms of shall I go into the kind of details and what it looks like?
Brilliant.
So basically, if anybody's aware of how a major scale operates, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So we keep referring back to do, re, mi.
Yeah.
Because this is everyone. If people don't get major scales or anything else, they will get do, re, mi, because that's so popular everywhere. That's the most common thing I find among people. If there's one thing they're lacking in knowledge,
This beer is
it's the
nice,
one thing
it?
it's
lovely.
exotic.
Lovely frothy head on it, isn't it?
Oh, it's food for thought as well. It makes me want to think and create stuff.
I have no time for beer. This one's actually alright. It doesn't feel like you're being punished when you drink it.
Yeah, it's actually, and it's just as strong as the others. Not even stronger, probably.
Really? What percentage?
It's more subtle, is it? It's
Jesus.
4.5.
We have that Japanese beer in the thing. Where's
Oh,
this
that-
from?
That's Spain.
Jeez. Pentatonic's good, isn't it?
Pentatonics is a lovely scale.
Was that is there any truth to that? I think the lad in the Beatles, George Harrison or something, took a trip to, was it India maybe, and he came back with the pentatonic scale. Is there any truth to that?
I have
Mason?
no idea. I wish.
Do you know much about the Beatles and George Harrison?
I know. I should know more about
to...
George Harrison, but not a lot about him.
Ah, yeah.
But
the Beatles.
that's interesting.
Are the
Wow,
Beatles big into pentatonic at all?
I never knew they were into. I mean, they were more into
jeez.
kind of psychedelic, kind of
No,
stuff.
pentatonic scales.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I never know.
Or
I
the
know it's
psychedelic scale. Psychedelic scale.
But music kind of psychedelic sounds like, but I don't recall them going over the board. Actually, Lady Madonna.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, no, not quite. That was more of an arpeggio. But
Fucking
no,
genius, man.
they're not into like
So some of your favourite pentatonic songs are My Girl.
Well, the one I know off the bat is My Girl.
Any national anthems, right? And anyone would know. Or any sing songs and
national anthems. I
no.
need to think about this one now.
Any theme songs on the pentatonic scale off fucking Star Wars theme song or anything?
Not in Star Wars.
I'll put you on the spot now.
They don't seem to have. It doesn't seem to be the most popular scale around, but
Pentatonic.
It's not as popular as I would have thought.
I thought it was like the number 1 scale in rock and pop.
Really?
Pentatonic scale?
No, you're joking. What song can this be?
I thought it was the king of fucking for soloing, guitar soloing, pop melodies and all this crap. Like.
I don't.
Well, that's the blues, isn't it?
I think that's. I'm not very well up on the minor pentatonics. I'm
Oh,
more of the major pentatonics.
There's a big difference in there.
The minor is a lot different to the minor is more like the blues scale rather than.
Oh, so we're talking about major pentatonics.
I'm kind of more there is a major and there's a
Gotcha.
minor. Minor is like a subsidiary of a blues scale with one note missing.
Is that same as subsidiary? Are they the same word?
I think
Subset, are they all
subsidiary
derivatives?
means like it's a affiliation to something. It's smaller than the main thing. It's like it's its own child compared to the mother.
How good is that?
For example, a child is a subsidiary of the parents.
That's so good.
The offspring kind of thing. So subsidiary is like an offspring almost.
I think I've been hearing that word a lot in business. I think that's where I'm getting this from.
Really? Subsidiary?
Yeah. But
Oh yeah.
Pentatonics, that's mad. So major pentatonics not around so much.
It's fuck all around. Fuck all. Like it's fuck all.
It's free for the taking.
So the only one song that sticks out right now is "My Girl."
That sounds real chuffed, doesn't it? It sounds real happy.
It's a very happy song, I have to say.
It's a very happy kind of happy scale, isn't it?
Happy scale. I tell, it's straight in there. I knew this as since I was like 3 years old. I've been this subject kind of exposed to that major pentatonic, and for many years I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, you've been into this since you were a kid. Is there a lot of major third intervals in it?
Not so much. So it's just the. That's all there is to it. So I'll
Can I
take
see
the
that
final-
in relation to? So this is sorry. This
It's
is
C.
this is the major scale,
Yeah.
and the pentatonic is just 2 notes less than that, is it? Or
It's two. If you wanted to exclude the octave, the same octave, it's
okay,
literally it's just 2 notes taken out of it, pretty much.
really? And which
These,
2 notes are they?
These 2 notes. No, so boom, 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 boom. The F and B are taken out.
So that's the 4 and the. Is that the 4 and the 7?
4 and the 7.
4 and
So
7.
if you know
That's it.
4 and 7 is gone,
That's
it's
it. How
it's
easy is
1,
that?
2, 3, 5, and 6. That's the numbers. And if you want to think of it in do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, it's fa and ti that are taken out.
That's amazing.
So if you know the do, if you know the major scale,
That's
you
it.
can-
As simple as that.
Yeah, that's it.
Use 2 major scales. Take out the 4 and the 7.
Yeah.
Done.
Done
All day long.
all day long.
That's fucking
And you
handy.
can do it if you know your major scale in any key. You can just know where 4 and 7 is, take them away, and then you got your pentatonic. There you go.
That's so handy. And pentatonic, if we're going to convert that pentatonic information into chords, would that translate? Would you just take the 4 and 7 out of the chord scale, if you know what I mean?
Not the arpeggio.
So, well, no, I'll just play it for you if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
We're after losing visual, but we'll come back. So the chord scale in C.
What's a chord scale? Because I just seen it as an arpeggio. Because an arpeggio is a
Oh.
broken chord.
Yeah,
Which is
well,
this.
that sounds great.
Is that what you're on about?
No, I'll just play it for real quick.
Grand,
just
okay,
so,
yeah.
So here's chord scale, right? What was it? A, B, C, D.
Oh yeah. That's it.
A, B, C.
Yeah, that's
So
what I know what you mean.
If we
Yeah,
were doing
chord.
pentatonic, would that sound like this? C, E, oh, A, B,
Yeah,
C.
yeah, that's right. D. So it's
That's
C,
it.
D, E, D.
Was this wrong? A, B, C. No, I did that wrong.
So C,
B,
C, D minor, E minor,
E, skip F,
G, A minor,
A, skip
and
7.
straight to C.
Oh, there's A minor there.
Yeah, A minor. Yeah, that's good.
Skip.
B to C.
Oh man.
That's it. There you go.
What was it backwards?
G, E, C.
Man,
There you go.
That is the
That's
happiest
cool.
chords I've ever heard in my life. Just getting rid of that 4.
And 7. 7 is diminished, so that's fucked.
I never thought 4 would be the kind of the weird chord in the bunch. I thought 4 was like a real
I kind of like that
rock
chord.
solid all day long. 4.
Can I divert from the pentatonic
Oh,
into something else,
please.
something more interesting? The most popular chord progression in the world, the 4 chords where you can learn 2,000 songs in one go in a space of 10 minutes.
1, 4, 5, 6.
It's not. It's actually. So if I take it in the key of C,
Yeah.
basically the reason why it's popular. Are you ready for this?
Down.
So let's do. So let's take our C major scale, the whole scale, everything.
Alright.
C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
Yeah.
And do the song "Save Tonight" by the Eagle Eye Cherry. I'll play it. I'll play it. Save Tonight. A minor, F major, to C, to G, and then at the V2, wake me up when it's all over. And there's like apparently thousands of songs that use that chord progression.
A minor,
F,
F,
C, G. Now, there's a reason why, probably why people just think, oh, it's just easy to traverse the chords. But there's another reason. Traverse means, yeah, just kind of move around, yeah.
Lovely.
To cross over from one.
Perambulation, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Abortion. Abort. But there's a very interesting reason.
Lovely.
So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and you're going to see why.
Cycle of fifths, is it?
No, even better than that. It
What?
uses every single note in the major scale. It doesn't skip any. By the time you've gone through that chord progression, so you could play that in any order and it would still sound good because it obeys the laws of the music theory. So A minor, you use A, C, E. So that's already 3 notes out of 8 or out of 7 different notes of the major scale.
Yeah.
Go to F. So that's 4. And then C. 5, 6. And then your B and G. And that's your 7. Just normal G major.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. And then by the time, so that stage you used every single note. C you can just use twice, so that's, so you've used every note in the major scale, in the natural scale, which is the most, the major scale is the most natural scale in the whole world.
Mm.
And so when you use your 4 chord progression, you use every note. That's why it's so popular. That's why it's so easy to traverse. And do it in any other order. So you got A minor, F major, C major, G major. Let's do F major.
Does it that's the most popular sequence of those chords, is it?
It is, but you can do it other ways as well.
Do you have any idea why in that particular order?
Not just that order. I'm going to try another order.
Random issues. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to try another order. So I'm going to try C to G to A minor to F. Let's see what we come out with here. To G, A minor, to F.
Yeah.
There's another one.
C, G, A minor, F.
Now try C, G, F, A minor.
C, G, F minor?
F major, yeah.
C, G,
F.
F minor, A minor.
There you go.
I'll be using that one. You know, sometimes you just wake up and want to go to the shop, baby.
You want to have a wank and then you want to go.
Whoa! And then you wanna.
I want to kiss you, baby.
Yeah, consensually, I wanna give you any penny of mine. I wanna stick you on a pedestal, yeah, and buy you lots of land and give you lots of cash. Give you lots of cash. Yeah.
I want to buy you a swimming pool to go skinny dipping. And then you could do another order where you could do like, let's say F.
Yeah.
F, C.
Yeah.
A minor to G.
That's right. F. So
F,
C.
A minor.
A minor
To G.
No way.
Yes, you can do it in any order.
All day long.
And do you know what's really cool about this? You've got 4 chords there. You can mix them up, jumble them up, and you could do that all day long. You could probably come up with like probably over 1,600 different combinations if you wanted to. So you could do C, F, G, A minor, C, G, A minor, F, mix the next 3 around, and then do it in the next key, do exactly the same, jumble them up, do it backwards and forwards. You could just do it and just see what you come out.
Same 4
you could
chords.
come out, same 4 chords in lots of different orders until you eventually run out.
Do you think there's a need to change the key at all? Or does that even, is it a myth that changes
What's
people's
really interesting
perception?
about that is it involves no modulation, which is changing the key of any sort. So if you're like kind of just starting out and you want to experiment with chords, do that. Use those 4 chords in any order. Start with a key that's easy. I'd do the changing keys maybe later on. Maybe learn the song in 2 or 3 different keys and then just go straight into the next chord. And at a later date, we can go into modulation, how that works and what to add in. Because there is to change a key with the transition, there is a way of doing that. Like a very which involves deviating from those 4 chords, adding in something else.
Can we get a little bit of spice on that? Can we get a hint on that?
Um,
For if there's any,
what you
if there's
could
any
do-
advanced listeners,
what you could do is,
super
if
pro.
I was to go from C into G, for
Wait,
example,
is that the key? Changing key. From
changing key from C to G,
That's
fifth above
fifth
C.
above C.
So if I was to do those 4 chords, going into G major, no one would know you're in G major. So I'm going to play around and go into G major without using any changes and see if you can recognise it. Am I in G or am I in C? Or was I still in C?
I think that at the end you changed to the G there.
So where's the proof?
Where's the proof? Show me the evidence.
I'm going to show you the
I did
evidence.
nothing.
Watch. So one of these is going to go black.
Gonna go black.
Yeah, one of these black keys is going to get hit. So. F sharp. F sharp. Oh, it's just a D. So you can do
Just
D
a
major.
note.
Just a note. F sharp.
Oh, with that D.
Yeah, D major.
Ah, it's pivot.
Yeah, there you go. So that's how you can confirm you're in the next key. Because in G major you have an F sharp in the scale. You've one sharp. So if you want to change the key, you need to use the next scale. To transition, you need to use follow the key signature. Now, if you want to change from G back to C, this is what you do. I'm going to play around in G, and I'm going to go back to C. Back to F natural, and then back to C. Or you could do. So do you see what I've done? I got rid of the F sharp, so that's no longer part of, because you need to have an F sharp to sustain a G major. So to sustain any key, you need to follow its key signature. Once you get rid of that, or you change it, you're no longer in that key. You feel like you've broken the contract. Now you're back to wherever you were to begin with.
Yeah.
So if you're in G major, you need to have an F sharp for it to be recognised as G major. And people, non-musicians, would know that something happened. They may not know the terminology behind it, but they'll know something different happened with the music. It's like someone who likes to taste food. They'll know which bread and butter is better than, but they won't know what ingredients went in to make it better than if you got it somewhere else. But they'll know the taste of it. They know how good it is. But it's the same in music. They'll know something happened to it, but they won't know why. We do as musicians. So what we need to do is our job to kind of help them recognise by doing those things. So putting in the F sharp for G major. And now let's play around in G major, 4 chords. So D minor, C major, and D major. There you go, use every note in G major scale. And now I'm going to change it back to C. So do you see what I did? I took away the F sharp and I put back in F natural. And now I'm back to C. So that's exactly what happens.
Happy days.
So even, yeah, so
Just that colour and that pivot note.
literally one note is all, could be all that it takes. Or maybe typically the key signatures, so if you went from G to D, you need to add in a C sharp as well to go to D. So if I went from G, so I'm going to go from C to G and then to D.
Yeah.
So I go then to D to G. So I'm still in G because I've now done sharps. D to G. D. Now I don't know I'm in D. I'm going to confirm it. Go A major and add C sharp, and then to D. There you go. Now I'm in D. Now I'm going to change back from D back to G.
Lovely.
Got rid of the C sharp, but I still have the F sharp in.
Yeah.
To G. Now back to C, I'm going to get rid of the F sharp and just F natural, lead it in, and now I'm back to C. So I went all the way up to D and I came back the same way. I literally went up that way and I came back exactly the same way. So if you know your scales, if you know your here's the thing, learn your major scales. You will be, and you learn those chord scales as well. If you have that enough, you can write 100 trillion different songs. You will not be limited.
Learn your major scales.
And learn the chord charts, the chord scales.
Learn your chord scales and major scales.
And that's it.
In every key. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. You don't have to. You could do it.
What are we doing here? Podcast. We've got scales to learn, Dr. Boogie. What are we doing here? Dilly dallying.
I'm just telling everyone how good I am, right?
That's
how I'll
brilliant.
But literally, you have to learn every key. Like, start with small goals. Learn it in 2 or 3. Learn it in 3 keys. C, G,
Just on piano.
D. Yeah, any instrument or whatever. Learning any instrument. C, G, and D. Three different keys.
1 octave, 2 octaves, 3 octaves.
Doesn't even matter. Just C, G, and D. Learn all the chords within those 3 scales.
What's the hardest key to play on piano? Does it matter? I was playing piano and I was like, fuck, I got it.
Oh, it's usually a black key.
I keep
Probably an A flat.
I keep playing an F. Was that F sharp and C? And I was like, I should really practice in whatever key's the hardest. Just
Well,
for
going from
practice.
F sharp to C is not kind of a direct. It's not.
Oh, in the key.
Oh,
In different keys, yeah.
the thing is, if you're in C, F sharp will be in a different key. F sharp's not part of C, for
So that's
example.
what
Yeah.
I was playing in the key of C a lot and the key of F sharp a lot. Any keys in particular that are awkward to get to?
Well, I think
They're all the same, are they?
I think that they're all the same ultimately. It's all about with piano. You need to kind of look at the pattern.
Yeah.
For example, F sharp is a B easy scale because you only have 2 white notes in it. You have B and F, or they call it E sharp if you really want to complicate the fuck out of things.
What? There is E sharp.
There is apparently.
Go on, tell me about it.
Here's the thing about sharp. A sharp does not mean a black note. It just means a semitone to the right above the one that you're playing. That's all it means.
So there is E sharp.
There is, and there's B sharp, which is C.
In
There
what's the context that gives it to
If you're playing the, well, I'll give you 2 scales. I'll give you B major scale,
Great.
which is B, C sharp. You just 1 semitone to the right. D sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and B. So do you see the way I use all 5 of these black keys? I use all 5 black keys. When I do F sharp major, I do exactly the same. So I do the same again, use all 5 keys, but however, there's a difference. Do you see the way this is F sharp, but you have F and F sharp? Typically in a scale, you don't want to have the same letter name written twice when you go up a semitone. So instead, but do you notice the way, I didn't play E? So instead of calling this F and F sharp, we can say E sharp and then F.
Yeah.
So it means play E, but a semi plus 1.
And is that a major scale in F sharp?
Yeah, F sharp major. E
So an
sharp.
F sharp major, there's an E sharp.
Yeah. So it's not called F.
You've been
It's
lied
called
to.
E sharp. Yeah, it's like
What the fuck?
so
My life is a lie.
F sharp clause is coming to town. The E sharp clause is coming to
No
town.
way.
Yeah.
Could I hear? What's the one that there's no such thing as B sharp?
There is. No, I don't
What's
know.
the context for that one?
Typically, I think when you already have a
Man, I'm gonna call this
D-
episode
D
E sharp and B sharp found or exist or something like that.
Yeah, I think in one of the flat note, you could call this a G flat major as well. So you got G flat, A flat, B flat. Now here, B flat. So I already have B flat. So I'm not going to call this B. I'm going to call this C flat, which is a semitone to the left. B. So same as B flat, but the technical name is the. And then you got D flat and F because it's G flat. But if you call it, this is one of the scales you can call either G flat or F sharp. I think because it kind of meets between the circle of fifths and circle of fourths, it comes to that complicated point where you clash between sharps and flats. But that's for another day. That's advanced theory shit.
Yeah.
That's like going from 11:59 to that's going like from 1:59 back to 1 o'clock, or when the clocks go back or when the clocks go forward. That's the kind of situation you run into there when you get to that scale.
So
Crazy.
So good. So
It's fucking
good.
crazy what can be done. It's crazy to think what you can do with these things, and if you know it well enough, you don't even have to think about what you're doing. Let your ears dictate what happens next.
I'm a big fan of if I'm dancing, I know it's good, and if I'm not dancing, it's not good.
Oh, whatever suits. Like you have to do it the way it works. Whatever works for you. It works for each person. Will have their own kind of way. I mean, I love improv. Like I like blues. I mean blues. I'm sorry, I keep bringing up the blues, and every episode I keep bringing it up. It has been my number one genre. Blues, soul, Motown. Those kind of those dominant 7 chords are my fucking favorite.
What chord?
It's basically that. There you go. Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Is that known as major 7 as well, is it?
No, major 7 is.
That's 7 is.
Major 7 is so you got the top note which is G. Bring that up to G sharp. So A, C sharp,
That's G.
E.
Oh,
Yeah.
one more.
There you go. That's a major 7. That's
This
a major
is dominant
7. That's a
and
dominant
this is
7.
Or
That's
is that
a
6?
major 6.
So 7 and dominant 7 are the same.
Yeah, yeah. So they typically don't call it. Yeah. So if you see A7, it's just the reason why. Now I don't know why they call it a dominant. I think the idea is dominant is because typically what's the probabilities of what happens
Probability
of where it goes after that. I tell my students that the reason why it's a dominant 7th when I have their ridiculously confused looks when they're of their puppy eyes staring at me, I say, well, listen, it's a dominant 7th because it tells you what to do, like I tell you what to do. And then once they stop laughing, then I say, well, basically, about 95% of the time, you go to the tonic. You go back to the tonic. Now, you could have it in the same key, but that's the 5% of the time where it starts in the same key. But typically, what follows after dominant 7 is a 5th below. So, for example, you're going to have your
D.
Yeah, now D dominant 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes sense to go to this one rather than anywhere else. It doesn't sound right to go anywhere else other than a 5th below. For example, if I had you, doesn't sound great. Doesn't sound too natural. It's very against the laws of music theory. So if you want to be obedient by the laws of music theory, by dominant 7, when you add in a 7, you have to resolve it as a perfect cadence, 5 to 1. So in the chord chart of 5. When you add in a 7th, you go to 1. Now, if you are in the original key and you put in a 7th, you're probably going to go down another 5th into another key. That's another way of modulating. Dominant 7ths can help you modulate down a 5th. So we're gonna do a piece in A, like, and I'm being to a D major. So we looked at 2 ways of modulating. One is by adding in a sharp within the 4 chords, and now the second way is adding in a dominant 7th and going down a 5th. So that's why it's called dominant, because it dominates, it takes the next move basically.
It's so good. I love when it makes sense. Everything just clicks into place.
Yeah, it does. So that's
why that works. Fucking hell.
But for
so
some
good.
reason, and then in using obscure situations like the blues, can I find a sound to try for the blues?
What kind of, you want a keyboard or something?
Oh, this is great. I go.
Oh yeah.
There's your dominant 7th. Now notice this chord. That's a 5th below C.
Yeah.
So I'm taking bits off another chord. But when I do my blues, F bass is on this chord.
So it's an F, is it? Inverted or?
Yeah, F major. This is my second inversion of F.
Oh yeah, C in the bass.
Yeah, C in the bass. So C F A. That's your second inversion. Yeah. Then you're up to G and B flat, C F A, and then C E. Oh yeah. I love the slide. Maybe at the end of the podcast we'll play out with a tune like a bluesy. I'll do Dr. Boogie style.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a Dr. Boogie Woogie.
Straight off the
Blues.
Dr. Boogie solo album.
Pretty much, yeah. And it changes every time.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just blues improvisation. So when we wrap it up, we'll kind of we'll play out to the how we're doing for time. Are we?
I can't see the clock. I think we might be alright.
Yeah.
Or else we've been here for 10 hours.
How's prime time?
It is. We have 1 minute and a half left.
Great.
So I guess just a little bit of summarising or else you play
We'll
out.
summarise and then we'll play out. So basically, here's your summary is pick 3 major scales. I'm going to give you exact ones to pick. C major.
Oh shit. Okay.
G major with an F sharp, and D major with S sharp and C sharp. And you notice on the guitar the pattern is exactly the same.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It's great, yeah. On the piano we have our own way of it, so we kind of have to know exactly what number they are. We just have to think do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, oh dear, male, summer dear, oh dear, well, whatever. And then, so learn those 3 scales, and then learn the chords, learn their natural elements. So C, the first chord is a major chord. So if you pick the scale C, or the chord scales, the first one is a C major.
Yeah.
The second one is always a minor, D minor.
Yeah.
Third is an E minor.
Yeah.
Fourth is F major. Fifth is G major. Sixth is A minor. 7 is B diminished, so B D F. So it's B D F. So it's B D F. Like, it's a weird chord. So it's B major. Yeah, but without the G. That's funny. Funny enough, when you add in so you got a B diminished chord. Yeah, I think you're adding D. So without the D. Oh yeah, you're doing another version. That's brilliant. But if you change that D to G, that diminished becomes a dominant 7. Notice they both begin with D. Diminished to dominant. The G resolves everything. Dominant resolves. Dominant doctor. I'm dominant Doctor Boogie. So then, yeah, and then C is, you're just back to the same major. And then, so just remember, number 1 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is minor, 7 is diminished, and your 8 is the same as the first, which is major. So if you really want to think about it, first 1, 4, 5, and 8 are major. 7 is a weird one, which is diminished. 2, 3, 3, and 6 are minor. So 2, 3, and 6 are minor, plus your diminished, which is the 7th one. And then you got your 1, 4, 5, and 8, which are all major strong chords. So remember that way. Think of it, 1, 4, 5, 8 are strong chords, 7 is diminished, the rest are minor.
Yeah. And 1, 8 are the same.
Yeah, 1, 8 are the same.
Brilliant.
So there you go. And that goes for C, G, D, and all 12 notes of the...
Happy days.
So let's play out. Play out by the...
What key are you going first?
I'll stay in C.
Brilliant.
C, F, G. It works best in C, like...
Can we do a cheeky G?
Yeah, sure.
Or A major, yeah.
Which one was third?
G, please.
Okay. T, G, 4. C. One more time.
Over now.
There
Thanks,
we go.
everyone.
And we are.